And we're live. I'm getting used to doing pink lives this week using StreamYard and standing out in the crowd. So I'll wait a minute or so until people start to drop on because Facebook just sends out the notifications. How are you? Anybody that's dropping on? How are you today? What you been doing? I have been spending thousands of pounds on furniture for my rooms and towels and bedding. Really exciting stuff, isn't it? Thousands of pounds. It's actually, it's great. It's also really depressing when you see how much it costs for all this stuff. It's an expensive business setting up a B&B, having to have 6 of everything for every room so that you've got a change. But hey ho. I see people starting to drop on now, so I'll stop gibbering about bedding and start talking about what we're here for. So hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight's live, and I'm not alone tonight. I have a wonderful guest with me tonight. So I'm going to get straight into it. So those of you that don't know me, that are watching, and I can't imagine there's many of you, I am Mandy Nicholson, and I am the Creative Genius Consultant. I'm an artist, I'm an author, and I help creative women to launch, grow, and scale their businesses and make more money. And with me tonight, I've got one of my clients, one of my amazing clients. This lady is something really special. And we're going to be talking to you tonight about unraveling the real you and your deepest desires. Isn't that a great title? I was just talking to Lindsay about it and said, I wrote that title about 4 weeks ago, not actually knowing that it'd be Lindsay on tonight. And it actually fits perfectly because I'm going to say that Lindsay's kind of the queen of calm. Even a backdrop makes you feel calm. So I'm going to let Lindsay introduce herself. So Lindsay, tell everybody, about you. Tell them what you do. Tell them a little bit about you and what you do and how you help women.
Okay, so thank you so much for having me on tonight, Mandy. I really appreciate it. And it's so lovely to be in the company of so many wonderful creative women. So my name's Lindsay Foley and I'm the Self-Awareness Guide. And I help women to go from overwhelm to calm. So I empower and support intuitive, creative women, mainly mums, who are approaching midlife and maybe having some unraveling in their relationships. And obviously that's a very overwhelming, stressful time. And the first thing you need to do is to calm and to make space to understand what's going on. And then I have a system, a map to walk you through the steps to not only reconnect with yourself, but to reconnect with your partner and deepen the relationship. And I did that with my husband, and it's better than ever.
Your story is really amazing, Lindsay. I know that. You share as much or as little as you want to tonight. But how can anybody watching this now and starting to wonder, what is it? Because you feel very calm. You are very calm in your manner. You create an essence of calm around you. So how does cultivating calm, how can it help you in unraveling the real you? And get into your deepest desires, because lots of women hit that midlife and find themselves in relationships that they've been in for maybe decades.
Yeah.
And, they're watching different TV programs and, nobody knows who's cooking dinner. That's one of your taglines, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're niggling at each other and things are not as good as they used to be. And that actually can cause a real feeling of imbalance and issues with your own self-worth, can't it? So how does cultivating calm allow you to tap back into all that really gorgeous stuff that was there at the start?
Okay, so it really starts with being aware that we are in such a busy world. We're on the move all the time, and we need to take a moment to pause and to reflect and to really kind of go within and recognize that something is going on, and from that place we can then sorry, I'm getting a little bit nervous.
Well, nervous. I think it's, take the scarf off. It's warm in this room. Yeah, it's warm in this room. Because actually, us creative women can be difficult to live with. We're all over the place with our shiny object syndrome, pinging all over the place. That can be hard for a partner to live with and align themselves with as well, can't it? So speaking from as a creative, I've been married 4 times. I'm the prime example here.
Yeah, and we get so busy that we lose touch with who we truly are. And when we lose touch with who we truly are, then we lose touch with what's going on in front of us. Yeah. And that's what happened with me. I got to a point where the kids were getting older, and I started thinking more about what I wanted and what I wanted to do, and focused more on me. And in the process, Stu was also doing the same thing and recognizing that he wasn't so happy with certain things, like, as you were saying, like the niggles were popping up, and we both kind of put our heads in the sand a little bit. We both just kind of tried to carry on and pretend that things were fine, and that can be fine for a while. As we said, when we're living these busy lives, we can just kind of gloss over things. Mm-hmm. And it's only when something happens, and in our case, it was the washing up. Like, he was niggling about the washing up, and I was like, what is it about the washing up? And the floodgates like literally opened. Many times it's not about the little thing that we say it is. It's layered. It's much deeper than that. And because I'd finally kind of spoken up and said, hey, what's going on? He was then able to say, I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with that. And of course, it shook me. I was heartbroken that he was so unhappy and that I had something to do with it. So then I had to dig deep and reassess how I was showing up for him and for me. And it was a beautiful, beautiful experience, because I learned how to nurture myself more. I learned how to communicate more effectively. I learned that all of these beliefs and patterns that I'd had from like childhood, which we all do, were having an impact on my behaviors and thought processes, and they needed an overhaul. They needed a reshape. And I'm really lucky that I've spent over 20 years meditating. I have taught Reiki, and so I'm able to tap into and be quite comfortable with going within and self-exploration. Mm-hmm. And when someone is going through this like whirlwind of shock and grief, really, and being totally lost, and wanting to do something about it, which we both did, then I took the lead, and it can make a really big difference to have someone like me who is calm, who can hold your hand, who can nurture you and support you through this,
turmoil. It can be turmoil, can't it? It takes a really big person. That's the first thing I want to say, is it takes a really big person to say, hey, I've got some responsibility here for things that aren't going right. Mm-hmm. And when you can say that, it's almost a relief, isn't it? When you can actually own that and say, you know, if I've got some responsibility here for things that aren't going right, then I've got some responsibility to help to make it better. I think that's a big turning point, isn't it? If you can get people there, that can be a huge turning point in relationships and in your own self-love. Because it's not just about other people, is it? It's about loving you and being calm within yourself.
But it all starts with you. I had to start working on myself before I could reach Stu. And I saw it as like holding the love for both of us. So I saw the potential. I felt it in my bones. I knew it in my heart. So no matter kind of what he threw at me, I was like Teflon coated. I was just like, you know, I just kept showing up, loving him, doing the work that needed to be done. And now he's been able to see what I've been doing, and he has got some new skills of his own. So I'll give you an example. I used to, you know, get really distant. You know, if he'd annoyed me, and he tried to come and give me a cuddle, I'd be like, no. Nope, go away. Yep. So now if I go quiet, or if he knows that perhaps, you know, something's not quite right, he'll come and give me a hug, and I'll accept it now.
That's important, isn't it? Accepting that.
Yeah.
So how do you help women then? How is it that you can help women to get to that place? Because there's a lot of resistance, particularly we can be quite stubborn as women. We can be quite stubborn. It's not me. Yeah, it's you. It's not me. It's you. There can be a lot of that going on. It's an internal battle, isn't it? So how do you help women?
Well, there's lots of lovely exercises and tools that I use. To start off with, I help women to really understand who they are, the truth of who they are, and their personality patterns and their behaviors, and how those patterns have an influence on their thoughts. So that's where I kind of start with. And then we do practices like seeing the other person with loving eyes. Now, to start off with, it's not easy. It's a practice. But if you can just take a moment and remember that the person in front of you, at the very least, is a human being that you have respect for, and can see them in that way, and then eventually see them in a loving way, then that softens the whole. It softens the feelings within you. It changes the way that you communicate with them. And a big one that I did, that, you know, I can show you real quick, is whenever we had an argument, or I felt guilty or sad, I would just put either one or two hands on my heart, and I would close my eyes, and I would just say to myself, I am safe, I am loved, everything's going to be okay, or everything is okay. Mm-hmm. And that's a lovely thing, because you're connecting with your heart and you're feeling the warmth, and it's like giving yourself a hug, and sort of positive, loving affirmations, supporting you to really feel the love for yourself, because that's the crux of it. If you don't fully love yourself, then it's hard to model that for somebody else. So I reconnect women with their love for themselves. I empower them to see the very best in themselves, their skills, their talents, their strengths, and what their saboteurs are, along with some cultivating calm techniques and soothing techniques, some communication techniques
Mm-hmm.
to make it like a whole package.
You are very calm to be in the presence of, Lindsay, and that I think that's really important when you're working in that area with women. You feel that way. You actually emanate it. It's a really beautiful thing. You've got, if you want to check Lindsay out, links are in the comments. Check that out, and there's a freebie in there as well. So please sign up for a newsletter, because Lindsay's weekly newsletters are beautiful too, and they're very calm, and there's loads of really good tips in there. So get yourself into Lindsay's world and try and understand how it is that, you can bring balance back into your life if you start to work with somebody like Lindsay. So how do you work with women? How could they work with you if they were interested?
So at the moment, I mainly do Zoom work, but if you're local to me, I'm in Northumberland, in Bedlington in Northumberland, so I could potentially kind of meet up with you one-to-one. My package at the moment is called Cultivating Calm, and it's a 9-week one-to-one package that involves 3 one-to-ones, so one every 3 weeks, with some exercises and journaling that you can do. So that's the main way to work with me.
And that's a real investment in yourself, isn't it? For your own self-love, because the title for this live was Unraveling the Real You and Your Deepest Desires. And if your deepest desire is to be happy and feel that you're aligned with your life, with your partner, with your relationships, you have to start with you, don't you? I know that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of forgiveness to do when I hit rock bottom, and there was lots of people around me to blame. There was a lot of work to do at that point for me,
Mm-hmm.
in unraveling all that anger and distress and upset and hurt, so that I could actually feel positive and move on with my life and do positive things. And look what unraveling myself at that point did for me. It enabled me to rebuild my life. So it's a really important thing to do, isn't it?
It is. It's life-changing. It really is life-changing. And it not only has a positive effect on you, it also has a positive ripple effect on whoever you're surrounded by. So for me, it had a positive ripple effect on my kids and my husband. And, I feel so blessed to have been through a tough experience, so I can share my my experiences and what worked well for us with other women. I feel really honored to be able to do that.
I think I would agree with you 100% there. The ripple effect goes far and wide. It had a huge impact on how I raised my children and how I loved my children, and the relationship that we had as they were growing up, but the relationships I still have with them at 22 and 17, nearly 18. There's a real strong bond there, because I have brought them up in the same way, with that connection, that calm, that understanding of self-love being so important. I remember when I met Gary, my late husband, and he was ready to join the family, and I said, let's just get this clear. Here's the pecking order. I'm at the top of the list, because if I don't look after me, I can't look after anybody else. Then it's the kids, then it's the dogs, then it's you, because you're a grown-up and you can look after yourself. I love you, but you have the ability to love yourself and look after yourself. And I think when you can be that confident in the way that you communicate, and you've mentioned that communication is everything.
Oh,
when
yes.
you can find that level of honesty and ability to communicate, and you can raise your children in that way, and your relationships with friends, extended family, it makes such a huge difference. So unraveling the real you starts with digging deep, taking down the barriers, and allowing yourself to be.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And isn't it beautiful that we are giving that gift to the next generation?
Yeah.
Because I think one of the reasons why I'm working with sort of people who are around 35 onwards, who are in that kind of approach to midlife. There's this kind of generation of us that grew up with messages like, you know, money didn't grow on trees, or you must finish your plate, or don't cry, or I'll give you something to cry about.
Yeah.
As examples, you know, and all very well meaning. However, they've got such deep layers attached to them. Like, you know, finish your plate, for example. If they'd, you know, if we were at the dinner table and they said that we would have wanted to finish it all up before we could have dessert or something nice. So as you're an adult, you know, that could be like, well, I can't finish, I have to finish a course, even if it's like, you know, I've got everything that I want out of it, or I have to stick in a situation that's not serving me because, you know, I have to finish what I started, or I can't have the good stuff because I haven't achieved a certain level yet. You know, there's so many sort of
layers of meaning.
that
I think
we need to click.
That's why a lot of women stay in relationships that aren't serving them, because you've made your bed, you lie in it. You've got, you know, that sort of thing. So there's a lot to be answered for of that voice that goes on in your head that was put there as you were growing up, isn't there? And you help to unravel that as well, don't you, when you're cultivating calm with your clients, which is a wonderful thing. So we've been on for 22 minutes chatting. You know, I could be here for an hour quite easily every week.
I know, yeah.
It goes really quick. So if people are really interested in contacting you, they can message you, they can find you on your Facebook page or in your group, which the links are here in the comments. And tonight we've been talking about how to unravel yourself, how unraveling the real you will help you to reach your deepest desires, whatever those desires are, because the real you is there underneath all these layers that we've been talking about. And Lindsay is the expert in this. She's incredibly calm. She's got a lovely manner, as you can see tonight. And she's very experienced in this area. So get in touch with her, get yourself in her network, get yourself in her world, watch her, stalk her, and take advantage of the freebie. Any advice that you would like to give to women out there that are feeling like things are not right and that relationships are not right? Anything that you could say to them tonight?
That you're loved and that you're always supported, and that there's always people out there who can give you a kind word or a hug. Don't feel like you have to suffer in silence. For me, I felt ashamed. You know, I felt guilty that I had caused, or I perceived that I'd caused hurt and harm in my relationship. And it's a two-way street, you know. So we're not always encouraged to reach out and get the support we need. So I just want to let you know that you're worth it, that you are loved, that it's safe for you to go and get some comfort.
Thank you, Lindsay. And, you know, it's absolutely my pleasure. One of my greatest joys in life is working with amazing women like yourself and having this constant stream of ladies I can bring on here so that you don't get bored with seeing me every single week. Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody that's been watching. Any questions, please put them in the comments. Feel free to speak to Lindsay. Join me again next Tuesday, 7 p.m, same time, same place. And thank you so much for joining me tonight, Lindsay. It's been a joy.
Oh, it's been a joy for me too. Thank you so much.